It is time to spin the TBR. I have every book on my physical TBR on a spinner wheel, and we are going to spin and read 5 books in this video. Whatever it lands on, I have to read. In this series, I'm making sure I prioritize my physical TBR. My goal is to not have books on my physical TBR for more than the previous calendar year. So currently, everything on my shelves was bought this year or last year. Once we get to the end of this year, if I have anything left on my shelves from last year, they have to go. So I really want to prioritize reading what I have. They're all books I'm really excited to get to, and a spinner wheel is always fun. If you missed episode 1, it is linked in the description. You don't need to see it before watching this one, but I also read 5 books. Also in this series, you do get to influence what I read. Towards the end of the video, you'll see everything on my physical TBR, and you can let me know which 3 you want me to read. And then the last book in each video will be the top 3 choices from the comments. I'm excited to get started. I have some very incredible books on my TBR that I can't wait to read. We need to pick our first book. Honestly, this is so perfect. I read the first one in a 48-hour readathon for Realmathon this month, and I need to read this one this month anyway, so very excited to continue. So this one, making it on the spinner wheel as the first pick, is interesting because the spinner wheel at the end, the most requested book from my TBR was the first book in the series, which I read in the 48-hour Realmathon vlog. So I'll have that linked if you want my thoughts on the first one. But there's more books out, so that means that the third book technically could still be read at the end of this video, which I don't know how I feel about that, but since it's part of a series, I already, like with the regular spinner wheel, am counting the next one in the series I have to read if there's more. So probably good for me. I've made it really far in. I'm 160 pages in. I had to do some returns this morning. I had an exchange for like a sweatshirt that I got, and then I also needed to return some books to Barnes and Noble, and tomorrow is the last day that I could do that, so I needed to go do that. So I'm checking in with you later than planned because I was listening to the audiobook. So in the first book in this series, we are following Kira, and she wakes up kind of like in the woods, not knowing anything about her life other than her name. She doesn't remember really any details about why she was running, what she was running from, what she did before this. And she, at the very beginning of that, is like literally running. She runs into this church, and then the pastor there lies for her. It's like, no, there's nobody here, and then offers her to stay at the gravekeeper's cottage at his house, which I think is right by the church. And then she realizes that she can actually see ghosts. So she helps this one ghost out. That's pretty much the plot of the first book. So she ends up staying in this town kind of more long term. She's made some friends, and she is really enjoying her life here, and she is trying to help more ghosts out. And she is now kind of really getting into figuring out why she was on the run, what happened with her. That feels like more of the focus of the second book, which I am enjoying, and the things that we are learning so far are very interesting to me. I like the direction that it is going in. So there's our main character Kira, and then kind of 3 side characters: the pastor, the doctor that was brought to check her out after the first one that she has this like little tiny relationship with, and then somebody that she met at a grocery store. And I really like Zoe, the one that she met at the grocery store. She's my favorite character by far. She's very entertaining. But they all have this very fast friendship, specifically the Dr. Mason and Zoe and Kira. So they're trying to help her out a little bit, but Kira's also keeping secrets from them because she's talking to ghosts and stuff. So where I am right now, there's just some investigating for what has happened in her past, more interactions with the ghost trying to help certain ones, and there's also some more malicious ghosts in this one versus the first one. So I'm liking this one more than the first one because this is kind of what I expected from the first book with learning about her past. But I'm not mad that it was kind of put off until the second book because I feel like it set up the things that she's going to be doing in the rest of them. So like it made a lot of sense to me. I am really liking it. It's a quick read. It's not the like really fast-paced, like tense Darcy Coates that I tend to love, but I haven't disliked any from her, and I like this series. I think going in knowing that it was going to be more cozy, kind of more mystery focused with some ghosty, a little bit of like darker stuff in it with the ghosts helped my enjoyment of this, because the one that I've liked the least, I expected it to be horror and it was more of a thriller. So I just like wasn't expecting things. So yeah, I'm enjoying the series. I need to go share some like more detailed thoughts on my Patreon for our read along of this, because this is this month's book in the series. We started reading them together last month. Well, I was behind, so I read the first one earlier this month. So yeah, very much enjoying this. I'm having a fun time with it. I do have to film a bit today and do some editing and some Escape the Readathon planning, but I'm really hoping to finish this and we can start the next book probably tomorrow. But I'm having a really good time. Winston is so disturbed that I left him, but I was laying on this over here, like the arm of the chair, and had no pillow, no neck support. Did you know that like this part of your head, like it can go numb? Oh, it's like the base of my skull. Anyway, I'll scoot this way so you can see Winston. I have a couple updates for you. So I have finished the Ravenous Dead. I really liked this one. I think that the kind of ghosty story that was happening within this one was very interesting. I think in each of these books there's going to be a story of Kira trying to help one of the ghosts, and then another part of her learning about her own backstory, since in the beginning of the first one she doesn't know it. I liked the ghost backstory in this one. There were a couple different elements to it and I really enjoyed that, and then learning more about her backstory, I feel like we got just the perfect amount of it to keep me like really wanting to know what happened to her and how she got in this situation, but also not getting too much of it. And I like the direction that that is going in. So I'm not going to talk more about this one just because it is a sequel, but I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars, and I gave the Whispering Dead 4. I already did another spin, so let me show you that. Let's spin for book 2. I'm really not going to give too many details about this one either because it just came out and I don't want to spoil it for people. But, oh my god, the characters in here that we learn about in Catching Fire, I was not prepared for some of their backstories. Oh, but seeing the things that happened to some of them that like I didn't know about, or maybe I forgot about because I have not the best memory, but I'm already wrecked. I almost cried multiple times. Oh my gosh. It's rough. It's rough out here. Oh, it's rough. So that's really all I'm going to say, but I am prepared to sob, to cry. Speaking of crying, I already cried today, so it's just the day of crying, and I don't really cry that much like before that. I don't know the last time I cried. But I watched Survivor. I've been watching this season of Survivor, and like, if you watch Survivor, episode 5 with Joe and Eva was just, oh my gosh. I really like the representation and the way that people are getting more visibility in this season. So yeah, I was crying this morning over that. I'm gonna cry later over this. I listened to the first third of the audiobook yesterday while I was doing some prep stuff for Escape the Readathon, and I'm ready to let it emotionally destroy me today. Oh, this is too much. It's too much. I don't think I can take it. I have made it to part 3. I am physically, emotionally, mentally, I'm not religious, but spiritually not prepared for the rest of this book. The setup of this is very similar to the Hunger Games and Catching Fire because we are watching games in all three. So in part 2, we were still getting the standard Hunger Games stuff with the training and the scoring and the interviews and the start of the game. Like, the pacing all feels exactly the same. I do wish we were getting a little bit more of the games in here because we know certain things about it from the original books, and I feel like I would like things to be a little more expanded on, which they are, but I just want more of it because there's a lot of very interesting characters and we're not getting as much of them, but like we're not supposed to, so I'm not upset about it. It's not really changing my enjoyment of it. I am still very obsessed with this, and I know the next time you see me I will be sobbing. I'm actually like I'm not prepared. The way, oh my god, okay. So the things that happened in this, I was like, oh, what do you mean? What? I think that this is hitting me very emotionally because we are seeing the things that these characters are going through and also seeing how things are connected to things that we know later on. So having those connections with characters in the future in this book's case, like, just makes me care even more. I'm liking the integration of different characters that I was not expecting to really see in this, but I truly am absolutely loving seeing the connections in this and how we got to the places with the characters and why they are making their decisions in Catching Fire. Oh, this truly is everything that I wanted it to be. Catching Fire is my favorite from the original trilogy, so to have something that is really a prequel to that specifically is just, it's too much, but everything I wanted. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to spoil this for anybody, because like certain things, how much can you spoil, because we know the outcome, we know where a lot of these characters end up, but at the same time I feel like just experiencing it and the way things are happening is just very impactful, and I think everything is smartly done. I'm loving the conversations in here, very direct reflection of the world, which the original trilogy is as well, and that came out a long time ago, so that's also making this rough. So I'll see you soon when I'm crying. I needed some time to recover, so I finished Sunrise on the Reaping, sobbed, stared at the wall for a while, watched a bunch of reels about the book, showered, recovered, and now I'm ready to kind of talk about my feelings. I am not going to spoil anything about this book, but my history with the Hunger Games, I read all the books right before the first movie came out. I was in 9th grade and I was truly obsessed. Hello. I went to all of the midnight movie releases. I have embarrassing pictures with Hunger Games figurines in public stores. Like, truly, this series is one of my favorites. I have two series that I would say are my favorite series, and it is The Hunger Games and Alice in Borderland. And this one, oh my god. Okay, sorry if you can hear Bowser panting. He is right here. But I am giving this one 5 stars. I am obsessed with it. I think that the connections in this and Catching Fire is really what added to the story for me. I liked the plot itself. I liked the games. I loved seeing all of that. And by like and love, I mean, I was devastated by a lot of the connections. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? But I think that it was incredibly well plotted. The connections between this and Catching Fire and seeing why certain things happened and what led to those things happening really enhanced my reading experience. It really brought in the nostalgia, but also tied things together in a way that felt very expertly done. I am so impressed with this book. Truly, the connections in here, like I've been having conversations about this book, how things led to other things, how everything is connected and what certain things mean, the context of things changing, just like, oh, it's so good. I cried about this book, which I don't usually do. I do think part of it is just my connection to the story, these characters. But I just think it was really, bless you, Bowsy. But I just think it was really well done in general. I have seen people saying that The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is kind of like a prequel companion to The Hunger Games specifically. And then this one is a prequel companion to Catching Fire, which it all 100% lines up for me. So I am convinced that there absolutely is going to be a third book that is kind of a companion with Mockingjay, which is going to be even worse than this one. So I don't know how I'm supposed to function after that, because it's been a while since I have finished this because I truly needed time to process it, and you're too noisy. I'm obsessed with Haymitch's story, seeing how it led to everything in the future. 5 stars for me. My favorite book of the year, which, like, I've only had 2 5 stars, but I am so obsessed with it. I'm going to be thinking about this forever. It is all of the content that I'm seeing online, and that's exactly how I want it to be, even though it makes me want to cry every single time I see it. I wanted to cry throughout this whole book because just seeing what led tons and tons of characters and the domino effect that things had. It's so good. So, 5 stars. I'm so happy that the wheel picked this book, even though it destroyed me. Let's spin for book 3. Okay. I feel like this is a good one. This is a thriller by the author that wrote the Pretty Little Liars series. Oh, I forgot. I have a signed copy. I have started Nowhere Like Home. I think I mentioned this is the author of the Pretty Little Liars series. I have read all of them. There's like 13 and they get so unhinged towards the end because I think she was just writing to add books because they were so successful at the time. I started reading them around the time the TV show came out, and then I definitely didn't finish them before that because they were still coming out during the show, I believe. But yeah, I loved them. I loved that show. I had these friends that we all loved Pretty Little Liars. My senior year of high school, the yearbook is signed from A, which is like the big bad in the series. It was this whole thing. So another big part of media that I consumed growing up. So that's just what this vlog has turned into. But I was at an event last May and the author was there. I really wish that I would have gotten original copies of Pretty Little Liars with the first covers because I did own them. But I swear I lent one to a friend and then she lost it and I was like, can I have my book back? And she's like, I gave it back. So I don't have any of the books because I think I had them in hardcover. But okay. Focus. I met her at an event and I got this signed and I am now 120 pages in. So this is kind of a cult book. We are following Lena and she has this old friend that calls her and is like, hey, I live in this like commune. You should come visit. And she's like, you know what? I should. So she kind of plans to take her baby without her husband's knowledge and just goes to this place in the middle of nowhere with somebody that she has not had contact with in years. So we are watching that storyline, figuring out the specifics of this place that she's visiting and seeing their dynamics there, kind of what is expected of everybody and the roles that everyone is playing, the things that are happening at this place. I don't think it has a name, but it's pretty much like all these mothers are there and they are all mothering all of the children so that people have more breaks and time to kind of exist as people. So we're following that, and then we are also learning about what happened in the past with Lena and Rhiannon. And then there's also this other secret that Lena has, and she wants to kind of repair her relationship with Rhiannon because there's something that happened between them as well. And then obviously things are going to start to go wrong. It's not going to be as ideal of a community as she initially expects, because why would a cult be great? There's also at the end of these chapters, I don't know if it's not every chapter, but I'm going to find the earlier one. It's at the end of the chapter set in the past, and it's an like Instagram post by this person named Jillian. So we're getting that as well. So far I am enjoying it. It's not super fast paced or engaging, so it's easy to put down, but when I'm in the story, I'm having a good time with it. We are in the part where weird things are starting to happen though, so I think it's gonna pick up for me. I hope it gets Unhinged because I know she can do Unhinged. I've made it to part 3 of this, so part 2 was pretty much halfway in. I didn't realize it was separated into parts. I usually do check in at the end of those if they're a thing, but yeah, I had no idea. So I'm at part 3 now, which I feel like is roughly 2/3 in, maybe a little bit less. I'm pretty sure there's not another part. So we now are getting the perspective of somebody else. We are still getting our main character, Lena, but we are getting an additional piece of the puzzle, and I think that I like it. For me, this is the kind of book where it's not like a super engaging plot itself, but seeing all of the pieces fit together is fun. I do wish that this like culty commune kind of thing was creepier and more involved, because a lot of the storyline that is happening is in the past, and obviously the past does impact the present, but I think that it's different than I expected. This is one where, like, do you like any of the characters? No, not really, but that doesn't bother me. I wouldn't say they're specifically, like, unlikable characters. They're just not anything special. I don't think that any of them are, like, super entertaining or engaging. I think it's just seeing the little connections that are made that is making this enjoyable. But at the same time, it's probably like 3.5 stars, maybe 4. There have been some reveals that I was not expecting, so I do appreciate that, and I think it's been a generally fun time. I wish I was obsessed with this. I truly do. It is very focused on motherhood as well, which I think the way that it's done in this is working for me more than it does in a lot of other stories, because it's not specifically watching our main character like dealing with things. It is the way that that impacts other things, if that makes sense. This is very focused on these friendships that are happening in here and dynamics between different people, and then seeing in the present the commune, I'm gonna call it, how that is impacting things. They're a little secretive, and I do want to know what really they have going on behind the scenes, but I just wish that that was more insidious feeling, because at the moment I don't care what's going on with like the behind the scenes of this commune, because it doesn't feel like it's like enough at the forefront of the story. In the present, it's truly just like the culmination of everything from the past, and it doesn't feel like, not that I want it to be two separate things, but I feel like since we have this fun setting, I wish there was more focused on that and less focused on what it's focused on. So that's how Nowhere Like Home is going. I am hoping to finish it very soon. Fingers crossed. I once again hope it gets more unhinged. It's starting to, just a little bit. It's getting there a tiny bit,
but I really want it to go there.
Oh, looks like I cut my hair. I keep doing that. I have pretty short layers, so I keep accidentally making people think that I cut my hair, but I do think that I'm going to cut my hair roughly to that length in a little bit. I can't commit to it yet. I just did my walk for the day. I thought I was going to check in with you last night when I finished Nowhere Like Home, but then I laid in bed and I did finish it, but I was not about to get up. This one, a little, and by little, I mean really unhinged, goes off the rails. It's not going to be a book for everybody. It feels silly. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted from Sarah Shepard, having read the entire Pretty Little Liars series with it being unhinged. It kind of felt like the same sort of drama where there are things happening, scary things, whatever, but the focus on it is the relationships between these people and the reveals, the connections, the way that everything was done felt very over the top, a little silly, definitely not very believable. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like kind of like evil caricatures of people, things that I feel like nobody in real life would do. But also, I'm not moving to a commune where all of this stuff is happening, so maybe that's my bad for not having these life experiences. I am going to give this 4 stars because I had a little silly fun time with it. The last third, so much happened, and I did enjoy it. It was entertaining, but a little bit like Whiplash. So if you don't love those kinds of thrillers, I wouldn't recommend this. But if you're just looking for a silly good time, I would recommend it. I will say that up until part 3, it feels a bit slower, and then it really picks up the pace in the end. So the pacing was a little bit off for me as well. So I did spin before I went to bed so that I could read in bed this morning. Here's my spin. Time to pick the 4th book. This, I kind of look blue now. Anyway, this is a very exciting pick. I'm really happy with this one. So I've started the Unraveling. I am to chapter 13, which is 93 pages in. And I was really excited for this one because I've been loving obsession stories. So in this we are following, I forget her name. While I remember her name, she is a psychiatrist and she is married to a really successful hockey player. And in the very first chapter, we are watching our main character in the present day stalking somebody. She's stalking somebody named Gabriel that we know her husband caused something to happen to him. And she kind of can't fathom him existing the way that he does. She doesn't understand how, with these horrific things that have happened to him, he's able to function and to be happy and to laugh and exist in his life. Oh, Meredith. Okay, so Connor and Meredith are married, and we are following Meredith in the past and the present. In the present, we are watching her as she is stalking Gabriel, and then in the past, we are seeing kind of what led to her downfall. We know that now she is on leave as a psychiatrist. She had to take some time off, and she is currently going to therapy, trying to deal with these emotions, everything that happened in her life with her husband. Also, I feel like I kind of match the vibes of this book right now. Anyway, so her husband gets injured and then becomes addicted to pain medication. And at the very beginning, they had discussed trying to have a baby. They were really excited about it. But with his injury and this addiction, they've been having a lot of problems. He's become very aggressive, not who he previously was. And we know that this leads to him doing something or something being revealed or some sort of secret. Meredith is really trying to be understanding, to be helpful, but every time she helps, she gets screamed at. So like at a certain point, how much can you take of that, you know? And then she kind of loses a lot in her life after this event happens. Where I am right now, things are starting to come together. I feel like being in such an obsessive person's head it's a weird time, but I think it's very intriguing. I cannot imagine stalking somebody on the streets and getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go get a coffee and then follow them around on their morning routine. Like, no, I'm not getting out of bed that early for anybody. But then the exploration of trauma and what these big life events can do to you is a really big focus, because our main character is so impacted by things and feels like she doesn't know how to function how she used to. But at the same time, someone else that has been impacted on another side of the same story is seemingly doing okay. The synopsis is really short in this one. It says, "This isn't a love story, it's a story about obsession. You'll assume you know who the object of the obsession is. The psychiatrist is concealing the twisted connection she has to her patient, or maybe her patient isn't as innocent as he seems. But more than one person hides a secret. To what lengths will desire and grief drive a person? Stop guessing, let the mystery unravel." We haven't gotten too much of the exploration of grief, but I can definitely see how that is going to play a big part in the story. But I really am enjoying watching this story of a very extreme form of obsession. So yeah, so far, so good. Sorry if you can hear, or really all day have been able to hear my air conditioner, but it's starting to warm up, and this space is in the attic, so it gets a little toasty up here, and I would rather not sweat. So I have been reading The Unraveling. I am to chapter 31, which is 210 pages in. I was not expecting some of the things that are happening to be happening. This is very different than what I was expecting. So we are watching our main character as she is now a psychiatrist again. Well, she has been, but she's back to practicing. So we are seeing her with some of her patients, and then seeing her go to her own therapist, psychiatrist that she has been mandated, and it's I don't even know how to talk about this. It's very psychological with like, why do you do these things, and how does trauma impact different things and relationships that you are in, and true obsession. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. It's like very juicy, messed up. It's not like that. I mean, okay, in the context of real life, it's messed up. But in the context of like horror and thriller books, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, I've read more boundary pushing things. Obviously nothing in here is like real life acceptable, but it's I'm really looking forward to seeing how this ends, because truly, what is our main character doing? She needs some help. She does. And I support how unhinged she is as a person. Like, yeah, her choices are something else. So I'm having a very fun time with that. I am gonna go to bed. Tomorrow is the last day, and I need to be well rested and ready to read. So I'm gonna lay in bed, finish this, check in the morning. I'm ready to see how this ends. Also, I always love seeing these like face things. What if I just filmed a vlog clip like this? Okay, I gotta go to bed. I finished this one last night and it was such a fun time. I feel like recently I've been reading a lot of thrillers that have a like solving a mystery as the main part of the plot. And I've been really needing a thriller where the point is just trying to kind of survive. This isn't a survival book in any way, but our main character isn't really using her detective skills to try to figure out this case or things like that. Obviously, she's looking for clues a little bit, trying to piece things together, but it just feels like a very different setup. And I haven't read something like this in a little bit, just because of what I've been picking up, not because they don't really exist. But this was truly what I needed, because the answers obviously were important, but the answers weren't the only thing that mattered. It didn't feel like the point was to get to the answers. It just felt like we were watching this very messy, difficult situation happening. I think that all of these characters are so flawed and it makes it a very unique read. Usually our main character has like some minor flaws. I mean, not minor. Sometimes they're like, did I murder somebody? But I feel like a lot of times our main characters aren't as gritty as this. And our main character fully embraces that she is the way that she is and she's gonna do what she wants. And I do appreciate that. I would not live my life like this, but it's very, very entertaining and engaging for a book like this. So I would recommend it. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. Truly a very, very fun time with this. This video is very successful. Really weirdly successful. So I hope the last book gets the memo. We are picking from the ones that you all picked as the top options from the last video. So let's do that. Okay, we're gonna pick the final book for the last day of Realmathon and the last day of this vlog. So for this one, we're not using the full spinner wheel. We are using a very small version. So in the series, you get to leave up to 3 books on my physical TBR in the comments. They will all go on a spreadsheet and the top 3 will go on a spinner wheel. So we technically have a top 5. We have a top choice for sure. That one will be going on the spinner wheel. So that one will be an option. And then there are 4 that are tied for second. They are The Whispering Dead by Darcy Coates, The Small Way to a Long Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, Flawless by Elsie Silver, and A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So I'm just going to remove The Whispering Dead. That is the first in the series. I read the second in the series in this video. So because I already read part of the series in this video, I'm not going to count it. So I have a spinner wheel with the 3 options, and the first 2 that are picked are going to go on the spinner wheel. The last one left will be left off. So first we have the... Did I write that wrong? Yeah, I definitely mixed it up. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, that will be on the spinner wheel. And then the other one will be Flawless by Elsie Silver. So the spinner wheel will not have ACOTAR on it. So we have Ask for Andrea, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and Flawless. So here's our spinner wheel, and my final book will be Flawless by Elsie Silver. So the same thing will be happening in this video. Here is my physical TBR. These are all of the options that you can choose from. So leave me a comment that has up to 3 titles you want to see me read in the next episode, and at the end for the final pick, we will be doing the same spinner wheel situation. Next time, I won't be picking books as far in advance as I did in this one, so it feels more in the moment. But I'm really excited to be reading Flawless today for the last day of Realmathon. There's a full day of sprints, and I think this will be a very fun one to end on. I have read 2 from Elsie Silver in her other series. This one's Chestnut Springs, the Rose Hill series. So Wild Love, I gave 5 stars and I really loved it. And then Wild Eyes, I gave 4 stars. I also very much enjoyed it. So fingers crossed this is also 4 stars. I think I really like her writing style and the way that she writes characters. So I'll check in once I'm about a third in. Hello. I have made it 130 pages into Flawless. I am to chapter, I just looked, 13. So in this we are following Summer and Rhett. And Rhett is a bull rider. It is his professional job, and he is the most famous of them. He is getting sponsorships. He has been doing this for a long time and is really, really famous. And then he gets in trouble with his sponsor, who is pretty much the dairy company, because he says he doesn't like to drink milk, which is kind of hilarious. And his sponsor drops him. Everybody is like really angry with him because he is anti-farm and things like that. And he's like, I just don't like to drink milk, which same dude. I don't either. I think it tastes disgusting. And the idea of milk, like, okay, who was like, yeah, I'm gonna drink that? And why don't we drink milk from other animals for the most part? Like, yeah, there's goat milk, but why is that okay and not like, I don't know what else besides cats and dogs have milk? Anyway, moving on. I think it's hilarious. And then his agent's daughter is now pretty much hired to be his babysitter. She has the role of making sure that he doesn't do or say anything stupid until the like championship so that he doesn't lose more sponsors. And he's obviously grumpy about this. He's like a 30-year-old man who has this new babysitter. She's literally living at his house. They have a guest house. His family owns, I forget what it's called, but it's like a specific farm. They have this whole thing. Their relationship is interesting because he is grumpy that she's there. She's like obviously doing a job, but they have this connection. I am enjoying this so far. I'm not completely obsessed with it. I like their banter. I think it's fun. But there's also something about the plot specifically that I am not obsessed with. I do enjoy how she is very attentive towards him. He has these injuries that he's trying to hide because he doesn't want to be seen as weak. And I hope that we start to explore more of those feelings, because you can be like this tough macho guy and also admit that like maybe sometimes you're in pain and that's okay. So really this plot is kind of following Rhett's career and them connecting during different things for it. My battery is going to die, so I'm going to keep reading, but I'm liking it, not loving it. I just love that I matched this book today. Okay, so I have made it to chapter 25, which is 262 pages in, and I am liking this one, but I'm just not obsessed with it. I can see how people would love their dynamics, but I think this with romance in general. I think you need to either really relate to one of the characters or really love the situation that they're in, or see somebody that you have some sort of relationship with in one of the characters. And I just don't have like, I don't know what it is, but I'm not really connecting to anything. I'm still really liking it. I'm thinking at this point it'll probably be 3.5 stars. It just isn't sucking me into the story. The characters are not ones that I feel very invested in. I do like watching their romance and seeing everything, but I can't put my finger on it, but it's just like a decent time, but still a good time. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. Generally, I do think that this one is people's least favorite in this series though, so I will still be continuing in it. I just wanted to be obsessed with it because I really, really loved Wild Love specifically, but I still think it's good. I think it's good. I can see why people would like it. I just don't think that the plot with the bull riding and like the whole milk thing, as entertaining as like that specific part is, I don't think it's a storyline that I really care about. And for me in romance, I do want the focus of it to be the romance. Like, I am here for the banter and them being cute and having a good time, but I also do want to care about the plot, and I don't really care about this plot specifically. It's hard because I want to feel for somebody that is struggling with their career, and like your body not doing what you wanted it to do and what it used to do is hard. But I don't know what it is, but I like their interactions with each other. I like how they are talking to each other. I just don't love it. So it's fine, but like still a good time. I'm excited to finish it though, and I am excited to read more of this series. I think that there's other characters that we have met that I personally will like their stories more. Bowser is so cute back there. Hello. Nova says hi as well. I don't know how to rate this book. I'm between 3.5 and 4 stars. So this kind of felt like 3.5 stars for a lot of the book. I do think the ending was closer to 4 stars for me. I did end up really liking their story, but for some reason, there was never a moment that I was truly obsessed. The stuff that I ended up liking towards the end felt more like real life stuff that brought them together, and I feel like I saw them more as an actual couple instead of just a fling. I wish that I felt more of the moments throughout that I was like, they have to be together. But I still did enjoy my time with it. It was quick to get through. It was entertaining. I liked the characters. I liked the world that this is set in. I just don't know if a story about a bull rider is specifically for me. But I will be continuing in this series. I don't own any more on my physical TBR, so they won't be in these videos unless I get one. But I am really glad that I read it. I will be continuing to read from Elsie Silver. There are just a couple contemporary romance authors that I read anything from. Number one being Allie Hazelwood. I've also been reading a lot of Abby Jimenez. I do tend to read Emily Henry, but I'm not caught up. Brynne Weaver I've been enjoying, and Elsie Silver is definitely on that list. But I do think I'm going to go with 3.5 stars for this one overall. I find romance harder to rate because I feel like if I don't DNF it early on, I'm enjoying it. In thrillers and horror, I know really what I like and what I don't, and when things are working for me in a way that it's just like the book isn't my favorite. And for some reason I struggle with that in contemporary romance. I feel like I rate a lot of them 4 stars and then forget about them because I'm like, nothing is wrong with it, but I am starting to figure out more about how I feel about things in contemporary romance, like more specifically. So 3.5 stars feels right for this one. Let me know what the 3 books you most want to see me read in the next episode are in the comments. That will be on a spinner wheel at the end. You also can leave a comment for the ones that were on the spinner wheel and not picked for this episode, but they won't automatically go onto the spinner wheel. I had a very, very, very successful time. A 5 star, 2 4.5 stars, a 4, and a 3.5. I could not be happier. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me a rose for flawless. Huge shout out to Cassidy for putting on Realmathon all March. It is sadly over now, but I do know it will be happening again next year. Also, if you do like competitive team-based readathons, I have one happening in May. Also, if you read Sunrise on the Reaping and it broke you, please share that with me as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you very soon. Bye.